Okay, so now let's start with the cell division. Okay, so how the cells they divide. Now the growth of the filament uh, it takes place through cell division. Okay, so as the cells continue to divide, then the filament will continue to grow longer and longer. So now the growth of the filament it takes place through cell division, as you can see here in this figure. Now all cells, remember girls, that all the cells, okay, wait, I'll show you this one, that all these cells here in the middle, they will divide. Okay, they are capable of dividing, except this basal region, that is the whole phase, the basal cell and the apical cell here, they will remain as it is. Except the apical and the basal cell, all these cells in the middle, they will start to divide. Okay, so how cell division occurs? Now the cell division it occurs through, it remains restricted in some of the cells of the filament. Okay, only some cells of the filament will divide. Now what are the different steps in cell division? Okay, what happened initially? Now initially what happened, the nucleus, okay, the nucleus it becomes shifted from the peripheral position, as you can see in figure A here. It is present in the periphery, right? And what happened initially, this nucleus during cell division, it will shift from the periphery towards the center, as you can see here in figure B, right? So it will shift towards the center and it will slightly move towards the upper half of the cell. Okay, so just remember what happened in the first step. The nucleus from the periphery will move to the center and also slightly towards the upper half of the cell. Not here in the upper, but just slightly towards the upper half. Okay, so that is the first step which happens. And also in the second step, what happened, the ring like thickenings, just take a look here at these ring. The ring like thickenings will develop towards the upper part of the cell. Here we are talking only about a single cell, what happened during cell division. Okay, so the ring like thickenings will develop in the upper part of the cell wall, and also as you can see here in figure C, they gradually increases in thickness. Here you can see the thickness, it is slightly in figure C they become more thick as compared in figure B here, as compared to figure B. So these ring like thickenings, they will develop, and they will develop on the cell wall, as you can see here, and they will gradually increases in thickness. So that is the second step which happened. Now what happened to the nucleus? The nucleus actually it undergoes meiotic division. Okay, it will undergo mitotic division, and it will divide, it will form two nuclei. Okay, so the nucleus will undergo mitotic division and form two and give rise to two nuclei. And at the end of cell division, okay, at the end of cell division, a row of microtubules, as you can see here, first the nucleus will divide and give rise to two nuclei, and what is this in the middle of these two nuclei? You can see they are nothing but they are the microtubules that are arranged in between the daughter nuclei, these two daughter nuclei. Okay, so a row of microtubules are formed in between these daughter nuclei. All right, so this layer of microtubules, it will remain in floating condition, And later on we will see what happened to these microtubules. Okay, we will see later. Now let us talk about these radial thickenings. Now you understand what happened to the nucleus. It will divide to give rise to two daughter nuclei, and between these two a microtubules will develop, and these ring-like thickenings, they will gradually elongate. You can see in figure D here, in both sides of the cell wall, these these thickenings, the ring-like thickenings, they will elongate and they will split the mother cell towards the apical region. You can see here the mother cell, this cell, how it looks here and here. Okay, it will start splitting through these ring-like thickenings only towards the apical region, the upper region, not the lower region. As you can see here, the apical region, it will start to split. Now these ring, they will expand much more, and they are becoming, now if you see here in figure D, they are becoming cylindrical, concave and cylindrical structure. And finally these ring material, they will form the cuticle. Okay, they will form the cuticle of the upper daughter cell. So now what happened, now let me show here, this upper part, you can see that the upper part of the ruptured mother wall, because the cell wall here, due to the formation of these ring-like structures here, so it becomes ruptured, but it remains attached to the anterior end of the new daughter cell. Okay, so this new cell which is formed, this new cell here, now the ruptured cell, it remains attached here to the anterior end. Okay, and it remains attached here as a cap. It is called a cap. You can see here a new cap is formed. All right, so that it is also known as the apical cap, whereas the other part, it remains to the basal region here. Now what happened, this microtubule here, this microtubule, it finally gives rise to it forms the septum. Now what is a septum? It is actually a dividing partition. You can see here the septum, it acts as, it is a dividing partition between these two cells. Okay, it starts to form, and this floating septum, it will gradually goes up to the base. All right, it will gradually grows to the base of these daughter cells, and also you can see that it is present at the top of the mother cell at the ruptured end, because you see here that this wall here, it starts to rupture. Okay, when it ruptured, it will lead to the formation of a cap cell here at the anterior end, whereas at the basal end we will find a septum, and this septum, it will become fixed. And later on, what happened to the septum, you will see that it will become, in this mother cell, you can see the mother cell and the daughter cell here. The newly formed cell is referred to as the daughter cell. All right, so this mother cell here, the mother cell, the septum, it will stay at the anterior end of this mother cell, and later on it will develop into a major cross wall. Okay, a wall which is formed between a mother cell, that is the old cell, and the new cell, and a new side wall will develop between the cuticle, okay, of the upper cell. And also it is evident that from the formation, from this cell with cap, is the younger one, okay, and this below it is the old cell. Why? Because the ruptured wall here, okay, the ruptured mother cell wall, it has attached here, it has attached here at the anterior end, and it has become it acts as a cap, the apical cap here. So that is why the cell with cap, it is referred to as the daughter cell. It is evident that it is a daughter cell, and the one which is below here, it is the mother cell. Okay, because why? As you can see here in figure C and D, what happened in figure C when these two nucleus divide? The upper cell here, you can see that the wall, it becomes ruptured, okay, and a new lateral wall, you can see here a new lateral wall, it forms from these ring like structures here, okay. They will form a new lateral wall and a new cap. So it is evident that this upper cell here, it is the daughter cell, the new cell, and this one below, it is the mother cell. As you can see, since from figure here when we have only a single cell, this cell below here, it remains as it is, okay, it remains as it is with this nucleus. So the one below here, it is the mother cell, and the upper one here, it is the daughter cell. And the septum here, it finally leads to the formation of the wall between these two cells, the mother cell and the daughter cell.